Welcome to the Earth Experience with Kalina and Angell. Are you ready to fall in love with the human experience? Are you aware of the divine soul that you are and why it is that you came here to have the Earth experience? You were born in the 3D. Now you are ascending into the fifth dimensional being that you are. Divine Creator on Earth, welcome to this experience. Welcome to this show. Good evening, everyone. You are listening to the Earth Experience with Kalina Angell and special co-host Rob Gauthier. And tonight we have a very special topic that we're going to be talking about, and that has to do with the Earthseeds and Starseeds. And it's going to be a little bit different tonight. What we're going to do is we are actually going to play some clips that have to do with Rob's experience as an Earthseed, my experience as a Starseed, and then we have miniature interviews with both Treb and Ariff on the topic. And you'll also be hearing some really incredible music in the background that is basically, I don't know if you guys have heard of Sanaya Roman. I believe that's how you pronounce her name, and Dwayne Packer. They actually wrote Opening to Channel, How to Connect with Your Guide. And Sanaya, or Sana, I'm not sure how to say her name. She channels music through a being known as Thaddeus, and you can actually find their music online, and that is ORINDABEN.com, and just got some really incredible music there. Rob, did you want to add anything to tonight's topic?
Yeah, I just wanted to say hello to everybody. This is Rob, always a pleasure to be here. And tonight is going to be amazing. The show that Kalina has set up for this evening has been amazing. All sorts of topics. The Earthseed, Starseed thing is a huge, huge topic.
Yeah. And I really love the music that you're going to hear in the back. It's actually called Healing Treatment, Track 4. And I just felt that very compelled to talk about not just starseeds. A lot of us have talked about starseeds. They're very a very hot topic, but it came to me that they're also Earthseeds, so I wanted to get into that. So we're going to go ahead and start that up, but also I wanted to say something that's very cute and adorable. We always talk about how Treb beeps, and there's going to be a point where if you listen carefully, our new microphone finally is able to pick it up, and you'll actually hear it. It's this kind of guttural sound in the throat. And just so you know, for anybody who is listening to the show for the first time and might not be familiar with Treb and Ariff, Treb or Yitni is a very loving, benevolent reptilian hybrid humanoid. He is from the 5th density, and Ariff is the wise ancient Pleiadian who is now Denevian, 6th density entity, very wise and also very loving. And they are both channeled by our wonderful Rob Gauthier, who is sitting next to me. And so Rob will be talking about his Earthseed experience. Now, my clip that I'll be talking about with the Starseed experience actually was recorded a year ago, back when I was living briefly in Chicago. And in that moment, I didn't even realize that I was going to be sharing entirely. I suspected I might. I get a little bit into that later in the recording that we're going to be sharing with the clips. But this was about a year ago, and I at the time didn't realize that I was already doing some semi-conscious channeling with the Arcturian 103, kind of a blended amalgamation of myself, and then I would like to call their presence coming through. So that's very interesting. So I just wanted to talk about all of that tonight. And sweetie, is there anything else that you can think of?
Just that the Earthseed thing is very profound. It's something that I'd never heard of or even thought of, and I think it's amazing to bring that and additional clarity to the Starseed information, and to combine those two, because we all are sharing this one experience, is something that this is probably one of the greatest radio shows have ever been a part of in my life, and I think this is going to be profound and excellent to all.
Thank you. Well, couldn't have done it without you, because as you know, it's part of the ENlightenment Evolution Network, and Rob has his own show on Wednesdays, Enlightenment Evolution Network. Enlightenment Evolution Hour. Enlightenment Evolution Network was actually created by Rob, and of course, I am very excited that I get to be one of the many wonderful hosts to have their own show on Network 1 and 2. And at the end of the show, we will definitely play the announcements and upcoming events, at the end of the show, so that you can get a taste of the different kinds of shows and hosts that we have on Network 1 and 2. But without further ado, we are going to go ahead and play tonight's show. It's a very meditative, very relaxed, so just sit back, relax, and enjoy learning more about yourself, whether you're Starseed, Earthseed, whatever it is that you consider yourself to be. Enjoy learning about yourself tonight, and we love you very much.
We love you. Well, Kalina brings this concept to me, and it's something I'd never really considered before. What it is to be an Earthseed. It's kind of a funny name when you think about it, but in all honesty, it's the first time I'd ever even heard of the concept, and I was pretty proud of her having this great innovative concept that's more profound than you really could imagine when you're thinking about the depths of what that means. What's considered to be an Earthseed. Now, I've had the benefit of knowing what my past is when you look at a linear time because of my work, and I have the privilege of understanding a few of my past lives in depth. But being an Earthseed isn't about where your past lives are. It's an energy, it's a knowing. I have never felt uncomfortable being a human. There's times where I've been uncomfortable in my experiences, but never being a human itself. I always felt like I belonged here. I always felt that I understood what it was to live on this planet. Even in my most disconnected days, I would sit in misery, but it wasn't misery of my environment. It wasn't the misery of what was going on in the overall experience. It was very specific. It was very agitating of those moments that I had to deal with the problems that were in front of me. But always in my mind, when those problems were presented to me, I always said to myself or to others around me, this is part of being a human. This is part of our experience here. And I always knew that deeply, subconsciously and consciously alike. I knew. I look at all of these people through all the work that I've been doing, and there are so many people who come to myself, to Treb, to Ariff, and they talk about their experiences as Starseeds. They talk about what it is to feel so unwelcome or to not feel in place. And I have this huge compassion for them, even though I don't have a true sense of understanding from an empathetic view. I have a very sympathetic view, and I understand that although I can't understand the feeling, I understand the energy behind it. As comfortable as I feel here, they feel that in uncomfortableness. What is it to really be from the Earth incarnation cycle? What is it to be this Earth seed? Well, it's a culmination of a lot of different ideas, energies, and things all at once. We are bred and born from suffering. We're bred and born from disconnection. We're bred and born from a lot of these painful energies. And knowing that we come from that, and that's what makes us great, makes us very different from a lot of other races out there. It's difficult to sit there and think, honestly, from a perspective of galactic sense or universal sense, when we're so grounded to this planet, when we're so connected to being a part of the Earth experience itself. Living in this planet has made some of us very open and enlightened, and some of us very jaded, and that's because there's so many energies here at work. I remember as a child being in awe of all these certain things that seemed bigger and greater than me, but as I grew into my own energy, I realized that this is something that's very normal. I always tell people that I'm a chameleon of sorts. I can go anywhere and fit in energetically. I can go to the richest neighborhoods and feel at ease with myself and my environment. I can go to the worst crime-ridden, poorest neighborhoods in this country, and I can fit there just as easily. I can go out of country and feel at place, and I have this really great ease about me wherever I go. And I think it's not just about knowing my past. I never was aware of what my past was throughout my entire life while I felt connected and at ease. It's very interesting to see the path of so many people now. They reach into this certain title that everyone would call indigo children. And I was given an explanation of that was so profound and so fitting. And what that was that we have been incarnating on this planet since the beginning of the incarnation cycle itself, since Earth decided to be a collective consciousness with 144,000 oversouls and the 144,000 twin souls. I've been a part of that energy since the very beginning. It's very profound to think about that cycle in itself and how that birthed the energy that was fitting. Now, this definition I was given about the indigo children means that we were there from the very beginning. We had incarnated since the beginning of the 144,000 oversouls and the twin souls that are equal in number, 144,000. But that's only part of the definition. The definition is that we have went through these things and mastered them. To come onto this planet and to be at total ease with your environment, but also to be very angry. And as a child, teenager, young adult, I was angry. I seen injustices in front of me, and I spoke very, very openly and directly to anyone who I felt had done an injustice to another, or who were doing injustices to the entirety of our collective at once. And still to this day, I have a better understanding of how things truly work, and understand that those bad things that people are doing are needed for others to experience, to complete their own mission. But there's still that energy in me that looks twice at it and says, what are they? Oh yeah, okay. So I'm always holding that energy back a little bit, and I think it's a natural default setting of many of us who have been here for a long time, who've kind of mastered all of the incarnations that we needed to complete, and this is the culmination. This is the final process. I know that not a lot of people are there. There are a lot of people who were born before that wave that are on their last finishing up, so there's a lot of trauma to deal with, a lot of issues, a lot of energy to deal with. So I guess that leaves me to put my own words to help to anyone who's going through this Earthseed experience, or the Earth experience in general. You know what it is to be human. You've done it many times. A lot of the time we don't trust ourselves in what we're doing in the moment, but when it comes down to any trauma and pain that you go through, any feelings of knowing that you're apart, but feeling different or feeling odd or unique to everyone else in a negative way, what I want to share with you is trust yourself. Your DNA has all the answers in it. Your past lives have all the answers to it. Your subconscious have all the answers to it. You are a part of this collective energy, and it's for a very good reason. You are here to experience the Earth experience itself, and remind yourself of this. When times get tough and you feel out of place or out of energy, remind yourself that you've been doing this since the beginning of time. As far as the Earth is concerned, you've been here since the beginning. And before that, you've done many things too, but you just don't connect to that energy. Reconnect yourself. Meditation's a great way. Sitting in nature. One of the best things that ever happened to me when I was coming out of my dark times was being in nature. I would sit outside, and the Earth itself breathes through the second density entities that are an extension of itself, really. Having animals is very useful. It reconnects you to that part of the Earth. Second density entities are very, very good that way. They're very linked to the Earth energy. They are more so linked than a lot of us Earthseeds in the mindset that we have. Once we let go of that, then we can be just as linked as all of these animals and all of the trees and plants. It's very important for ourselves to merge with that energy. Grounding yourself is very important. Sometimes we can get off the handle when we get into our etherical sides and start learning about all of this galactic stuff, all of this universal stuff. But grounding yourself, very essential. Just breathe. Remember, you're here for a reason. You are the Earth experience. And and I hope that helps you guys out. I love you guys very much.
Why are the Starseeds here, and why are they interacting with Earthseeds?
Well, the Starseeds come to the Earth experience for many reasons. There are a lot of different races that decided to be here in this time, and the reasons are varying. We know specifically through people's experiences that Treb has elaborated on, or Ariff, that there are entities as close to the ancient reptilians, very type 2, very malevolent, very disconnected, very crazy energy. And those entities have incarnated as humans. They wanted to go in and mess with the energy of humanity. You've already seen the extensions of that in governments and disconnections and people who are really, really disconnected and off-centered, and those energies protrude into this Earth experience with their own desire for imbalance on the planet. And then we have people like the Arcturians who have also come here, who I have also had personal experiences with Treb elaborating on people who have literally come here from those systems of incarnation, and they're here for a different reason. They're here to counterbalance all of the perceived injustices that have been done to mankind, all of the perceived wrongdoings or imbalances that have been caused by tampering with our DNA, by injecting their physical bodies here to either teach or terrorize. And those entities are here as starseeds to interject on that energy and to rebalance and to give us our free will back. So there's a lot of different reasons and different vibrations of starseeds that are here. And the beautiful thing is, from my own perception, that the most disconnected, craziest type 2 who has the worst intention for mankind can come here, and they can be caught in the Earth experience, and they can change their pathway. And the most connected, best intentioned entity can land here with their desire to help us, can come and be led astray. The Earth has that effect. When you incarnate here, you know that you have the opportunity to change everything, and I think that's exciting for a lot of them.
And another thing that I want to also ask is, there's so much emphasis on starseeds and feeling of being more special or more enlightened in some way. I'd love for you to address what is so beautiful, special, and unique about Earthseeds, and for that reason, why a starseed would come to have the Earth experience based on that unique beauty that Earthseeds carry.
Well, this is a great one. Why starseeds are so important? Well, there's a huge look into the metaphysical community, New Age community, where people believe that they are amplified or bigger than or greater than others because of their starseed experience. It is true. They're very important to the system at this time, but not more important than Earthseed. Yeah. And the Earthseed people lower their worth because they feel that they're not here to do anything more important than what these stars say. You know, these guys have come from different star systems to help us. Well, as great as that is, and as wonderful, and as much as I don't want to take away from those who are having the starseed experience, the Earthseeds are just as important. There would be no reason to come here if the Earth experience wasn't gravitational to the galactic I guess, to the galactic presence, to the galactic stage, if you will. And the most interesting thing I can really share with people about this whole experience is that Starseed, Earthseed, all of us have an importance that is truly beyond what anyone comprehends here. This co-creational level is something that allows the people who have the subconscious intertwined knowledge to share with us, not understanding that we ourselves as Earthseeds have the same intertwined knowledge. We were given gifts of DNA, intellect, and multi-dimensional DNA from the people who changed our DNA, manipulated. So all of it's very important.
Starseed genetics. Every Earthseed now.
Yeah, and that's what makes us interesting too, I think.
And then one thing as a starseed myself was that I realized coming in and having the Earth experiences is finding and realizing that Earthseeds, humans, have the ability and the capacity all along. And so I come here and find that, oh, okay, all I really have to do is just join in and enjoy having the Earth experience and sharing my heart and being human in this lifetime and allowing myself to be a part of the human collective and knowing that I'm part of it right now. Even if I've had less lives than one like Rob, who has probably had thousands, has been here from the very beginning, my entire outlook on everything has been changed, and that's why I've come back probably, Treb said, 20-something times, which is very low compared to, for instance, what Rob or many of you that are listening have had. And the way I look at it, you're amazing and brave, and you've been here from the very beginning, having these amazing, crazy, wild experiences with all these just rich experiences, from like what would be considered the darkest dark to the lightest light to the most loved to the most just everything. And it's very beautiful. And I don't think it's any mistake that Rob and I were brought together to amalgamate the energy between Starseeds and Earthseeds, because we really truly are more alike than we are different. We are all truly family, and I think it's amazing that humans, all humans, especially ones that have been there from the very beginning, like Rob has, he's the true Earthseed, but he also carries a lot of those star family genetics. So I think one of the points that we're wanting to make is, no matter what your story is, as Ariff would say, is just a story. You know, we're all part of the oneness, and it is okay, whatever it is that you're experiencing, wherever it is that you are from, or you perceive yourself to be from, wherever you're going to be, because we're all going to be bouncing around having various experiences. You are perfect as you are in this moment, even if you don't feel that way. And you add and contribute what you need to in this moment, in this Earth experience. And this is the one good place where you can have such a varied degree of experiences. And it's wonderful. This is literally one of the most rich, rewarding places that I've ever been in. And I salute all of you for being here, for being brave to experience all these different varied experiences. And I especially am in awe and love and adore the fellow Earthseeds.
I could not agree with you anymore. I believe that the Earthseed, Starseed, those labels can be very lovely and very wonderful, but I've also never met a person who was a starseed, who was a true starseed, which...
By Treb's definition, starseed.
Yes, and we all have that genetics, but I've never met a true starseed who benefited by knowing they were a starseed unless they were able to understand the implications of needing to have a human experience in order to enrich themselves. A lot of starseeds take the knowledge of being a starseed when they find out through intuition, through someone giving them the information, channeled state or intuitive otherwise, and not use their own experiences on Earth to enrich themselves. A lot of people get that experience, get the knowledge, and then they run off with it in one of two ways. They either see themselves as greater than others, which inflates the ego to where they're more human than they ever were, or they take it and get so scared because their feelings of responsibility overwhelm them. So unless you can take the information and set it to the side and say, this really doesn't affect what I'm here to do, I'm here to be a human in this moment, this is something I feel is very important for people to mull through.
Yeah, regardless of your backstory. And I feel, it's also important there are some very great teachers who are just ancient starseeds. They truly have the wisdom of the elders who might feel a great resonance with starseeds because of all of that ancient information. But you do not have to be a starseed or an earthseed to carry that knowledge. You just have to be yourself. And like I said, it's all backstories. And I know for me, I came here originally to just offer love and support, and my intention, I feel, was mainly to give. And one thing I learned about the Earth experience is if you're going to come here and participate, you better be prepared to both give and receive. I came from a realm where you're giving and receiving is automatic because everyone's giving. So, but with the Earth experience, that's definitely by a unique one-by-one basis. Everybody has their free will, and of course where I'm from they have free will too, but the collective is so meshed, and here it can go any which way. It's literally anything goes here. And so it's been an amazing experience in that way, and I feel it's very, very brave, because where I'm from, we're all there together because we're so similar. Here, of course you can vibrate and you'll attract what you love, what you fear. It's all so varied, and a lot of that that applies too. But in other realms, it's a lot easier to attract as a collective, whereas here, even though there's 144,000 collective souls, they are so varied within themselves, and it is just the most amazing dance. Being from the Arcturian, it's like softer, it's almost like a ballroom dance, whereas here it's just some crazy awesome salsa, jazz, African, tribal, whatever. It's just everywhere. Like, it's the most amazing anything goes kind of dance. And I think that's a lot of the reason why a lot of beings have their eyes on Earth, because it's especially an exciting time right now to be here. There's a lot of different dances going on right now.
I know I'm glad to be here, and I prefer the slow dance to techno rave and everything in between, so I'm glad.
I'm a pretty I like to get down with the techno every now and then.
I'm very glad that these points are being brought up. It's something that a lot of people go through, and a lot of people talk about. That starseed experience is very, very well talked about. It's a well established and well known, what it is to be a starseed, but to understand the implications of it and to understand how the Earthseed is connected. It's very important, and thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And I also want to bring up something which probably will be brought up later when I interview Treb and or Ariff, probably both. And it's that when it comes to also grid working, light working, any of those other titles, that can fall into Earthseed, Starseed, both, anything. So I felt like, and that's important to mention. We all add to the grid, and we all have a choice whether or not we want to light work at any time, or dark work, for lack of better words. And all of that, no matter what it is, adds to the grid. So I just thought I'd make that point for anyone who's thinking, what about, light workers and grid workers and things like that? That is a really amazing crossover, and that is where Starseeds and Earthseeds can really meet and amalgamate together and know that we are truly part of the same collective in this experience that we're in right here in the now moment, regardless of the backstory.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Oh,
I love you, Earthseed.
I love you, Starseed.
This next recording that you're going to hear is addressed to the Starseeds. And what's interesting about this particular recording is it was recorded about a year ago. And it was when I was still residing in Chicago for a little while. And it was not actually necessarily with the intention of putting it out publicly, although I got the feeling that I might. I was feeling what I would call in that moment a little bit of Starseed blues and wanted to cheer up. And so that was actually the name of this clip that I recorded that was entitled Cheer Up Starseeds. So it turns out I didn't know at this point in time that I had just found out about my connection to the Arcturian race and my previous life before I came here as an Arcturian into the Earth experience. What I didn't realize is that I have been channeling the Arcturian 103 collective for pretty much my entire life. I've felt them, heard them. It's not as strong, I would say, as Rob at this point. It is more of an amalgamation, and I think this is quite common. What some people might refer to as the little voice that they get in their head, or that intuition. So I still will hear and feel an amalgamation, if you will, of them and myself and my higher guidance. Just basically my heart. So I received that information, and I have been working on deciphering, who is saying what. But in this moment, when I played it back a year later, I realized, oh my gosh, there is some channeling going on in here, as well as just some heart sharing and working through all of that. And I feel like it's very beautiful to share to Starseeds, but it's also something that I'd like to share to those who are opening up to channeling, or reopening up to channeling, as I would call it. And so you can kind of hear what that sounds like, especially when there's a little bit of conscious channeling going on, which also has
the little bit of the painting, of that human experience overlapping it as well. So there's this little bit of a dance going on between the two energies, the two or more energies that you will be able to hear. But this is a recording that has to do with the Starseed experience, which I feel will be very healing for many Starseeds to hear.
Cheer up, Starseeds. It's one thing that I've learned, being someone who incarnated back into human form after being in a fifth dimensional state where I can manifest anything. There was always an abundance of love, support. It was like a symbiotic relationship with any being I was in, where I was from before I chose to come back here and be of assistance in this rebirthing or awakening process that I felt my fellow brothers and sisters of Earth, and I've been human many times, and I essentially wanted to welcome them and ease them in. Little did I know, or maybe I did know, the kind of depression that often comes with being one with this very different frequency coming back in and trying to reintegrate. And it was a very harsh experience for me, growing up, getting picked on, and I think many of you can relate to this. People are often afraid of what they don't know. Fortunately, I do see a lot of shifting. People are becoming more curious. But a lot of us, especially those who woke up very early or reawakened, remembered enough in childhood, like I did, there was a lot of pain that we experienced through that. Knowing that we are all connected, and then having that separateness of illusion, especially when we were cast out and alone, and oftentimes didn't have other peers, if you will, that we could really connect to and talk to. We may have had a couple, good friends, but we couldn't really deeply get into what it was that we were feeling or seeing. They might listen, but they wouldn't quite understand. And so it's a very lonely path. And so as I got older, I started to just close off a bit with the channeling and question it and doubt it. And, back then I didn't even know the name channeling. But recently was confirmed through Treb that I am a starseed and came from the Boötes constellation Arcturus, and so I'm Arcturian. That's one particular path. What I'm learning years ago, I believe it was in 1996, I had a reading from Gail Rhodes, psychic. One of the things she also said, I was a starseed. She said, most starseeds don't make it. They commit suicide because the energy is too heavy and too great. if there's any truth to this, I would like to say congratulations to those of you who are still here on the planet, including myself. It's been rough and bumpy, but it doesn't have to be that way. It's still a belief system. Just because we vibrate at what others would consider a bit of a wonky frequency doesn't mean we don't have the right to be here, fellow starseeds and lightworkers. We are having the human experience too. And a lot of times we have a tendency to create a bit of a veil or separation because of the pain we went through in the rejection. So we tend to cling to each other. I keep calling it the Starseed party. But we did come here to be of help to others. How do we do that when we are often feeling so much pain and rejection and depression that we'll feel those highs and lows? I think a lot of it has to do with embracing our human selves. We didn't just come here to serve the collective. We came here, as Abraham said, to have fun. What is your highest excitement? You want to serve humanity? Live a good life, no matter what it is. Be happy. That frequency that you hold is so big because you came from the fifth dimension or beyond, and you heard a calling, and out of love, you came back. You're bodhisattvas, but you're also human. And these people are also our teachers. We have become them, they have become us, and they are us. Earthseeds. There is a reason why there's such a fascination and fixation with the evolutionary growth in consciousness here. These are amazing, hardy people. And as long as we just hold on to the idea that we're only from the stars and don't embrace our earth selves, our human selves, we'll have that illusion of separation. You are a starseed, a lightworker, and human, an earth human. Take your hand and touch it to the ground and feel the pulse of the earth's love. Feel that great energy. Know that's part of Source. Does it really matter what planet we stand in or what body we're in? Not really, because we're all one, right? We're all from Source. Everything is made of Source. Everything broken down, the deepest, most tiniest particle, beyond the tiniest subatomic, whatever, the tiniest bit, you'll just see it's the same. Everything that's created is created through thought, feeling, and ultimately love and light, which is knowledge. So going back into that thing where we have trained our brains and our feelings and our emotions to be depressed, what do? How do we navigate through this? Well, just by, again, embracing, knowing that all is well and we are supported, and it is scary. when we don't know what the future holds, because we are not used to seeing things in a linear way. And we are seeking, searching for that multidimensional, no sense of time way of looking at things, being able to see all the probabilities. But the truth is, we're not linear. We follow our highest excitements in the moment, and it can heal things. In this perception of linear time can heal. You won't even know of another life that happened in the same, life, but it's on another line. So you're jumping and you're shifting. And it's funny because I once asked Gail, the psychic that I'm reading, back when I was 17, sometimes I feel like I got tricked. I came here for them, and now I'm finding I have to think of me. I've always been a giver, and now I have to put myself in the equation. There's this whole concept of self-love. There's a beauty in that self-sufficiency. If you really want to be of service to others, notice that you are a part of the equation of the one. You are just as worthy and valuable. And by serving your true self, you are helping others to feel that permission to do the same for themselves. Because society and culture, no matter what culture or society you're in, is always telling people, we don't accept you if you do this as an individual. Every time they see an individual, even if they're pointing their finger and pretending like they're rejecting you, you inspire so many. And the more and more people that break out and do and inspire, the more other people will feel safe enough to do it. They will start to see, my God, maybe we are in a safe universe. What if I do create my own reality? My God, I know this person and I saw them down in the dumps, and all of a sudden they're in a castle. I saw this person have so much pain and anguish and suffering in their life and rejection, and now all of a sudden they've got so much love in their life, so much abundance. How did they do it? We've got to find a way to stop feeling separate on this planet. And it's wonderful to hang out with fellow Starseeds, light workers. But I'll tell you a truth that I believe to be a truth. We're all at some point going to be Starseeds or Wanderers. Anyway, we're all going to have different experiences. In reality, we all already have. So in truth, everyone is a Starseed. We're all light workers. We're all teachers and gurus to each other. When we realize this, it helps to melt that veil of separation. The pain and the wounds that we felt from the rejection from people who didn't understand us, especially in childhood and teen years, for many of us it was rough. So it still is in many ways as an adult. If we accept ourselves and not give so much emphasis on the fear of whether or not someone is going to appreciate us or see us for who we are, if we realize that the people who may be reacting in what we perceive to be a negative way, we can maybe learn to have some compassion for them, because they don't understand. It's just like I learned on a more extreme example, if you're being bothered by what people perceive as darker entities or reptilians, you send them love. You can't handle that. That receiving the love is so great, that unconditional love. It's terrifying to them because they have to open up and experience that oneness of us. And they have chosen to want to feel separate. They're afraid they'll lose that individuality. They're afraid of losing that control. So there's a compassion there. In all of us, the beautiful thing about being a human is we have such a mixture of these different, the DNA, these different alien genetics. And we all have that side to us, that versus says reptilian genes. I was just telling one of my friends last night that I'm just learning to receive. I've always been the giver. And I've got a couple of emails that have been sitting in my email for a month, and I could see in the line huge compliments, and I didn't know what to do with it. I spent my life having, when people would appreciate me, it wasn't quite real, or like they would want something from me, or well, anyway, the point is, I realized that I had a connection even to these beings, me, who always talks about opening with love. And I realized I myself am working on the ability to receive. Because when I open up that email and I hear someone talk to me about how wonderful I am, I don't know what to do with that. Other than, just thank you, but it is so intense. And it is very reminiscent of when I was in 5D, which we technically are again now, but in my former life. However, there was always that giving, receiving. I was always giving, and my needs were automatically met, so it was symbiotic. That's what I remember and feel. As a human, I'm going on, I'm just sending a nice email, I'm being nice, I'm just being me. I haven't really done anything outside my normal personality. And then I get this email full of love I didn't expect. And I'm stumped because I feel like I've got to give something. I've got to give something back. And then what do I do? Just receive. Feel it. Just experience it. Let the fear melt away and know, hey, I'm a divine being. I deserve to relish in this moment. Damn right. You're right. I'm an amazing person. I'm a beautiful being. That's going to help us move past that feeling of depression, because Starseeds and Lightworkers, a lot of us, our great fear is that we've failed. We feel like we've come on a mission and we're afraid we'll fail. We can't remember anything, but we know everything. Does that make sense? We don't remember what it is we're supposed to do. But there's no set of instructions and rules. You have to, as Abraham says, feel your way to it. Just like Treb said, follow your heart. You can't be led wrong. And sometimes that can seem tricky, because sometimes it seems like things are falling apart. But one of my friends told me last night that she was told, and everything that's going on with her, things are falling apart to fall together. And in truth, nothing is falling apart. But you are where you need to be Trust me, you're doing wonderfully. Especially, I don't know if it's true, what the psychic that I'd had a reading from, but it sounds like it could be. If it's true that most or many starseeds don't make it because of suicide or drugs, because the energy is a bit taxing, then like I said, congratulations. You're the most brave, courageous ones. I know for me, I had many times in my life where I was desiring exit points. And now it's really just starting to get really good and really exciting. I'm glad I stayed. I'm glad I get to feel these myriad of emotions. It's funny how my tongue tripped when I tried to say feel fear. The thing even about glad I fear, which is funny. That too. I'm learning a lot from that experience. Because like I said, I came from a world where all needs, everything was taken care of. And of course I was expanding. It was pure love. But all these questions about not understanding human experience, it's getting cleared up. Especially lately. And I'm getting to embrace that feeling. Because the human experience is really incredible. It really is. It really is what Bashar referred to as the master class. Because sometimes it feels like weightlifting to me. It's extraordinary. I feel like if I can create in this life, really manifest, that there's so much amazing power in that. Working in a linear mind that is just starting to open into non-linear reality, just starting to tap into 5D, which is home for me, but still very much having a lot of the 3D experience. There's so much beauty in that. Here it is so raw and exciting. It's adventurous. There's a reason why so many beings have their eyes on us. And we're cousins to so many. It's extraordinary. And we're all brothers and sisters. All is well. All is good. Know that we're not separate. You're doing a beautiful job. You have not failed, and you cannot fail. Not ever. Not even if you took your own life would you fail. The very first breath that you ever took when you were born, even that was pivotal and wonderful to this planet. Whether you were Starseed Lightworker or Earthseed. Of course, as you now know, there's in truth no such thing as a starseed, earthseed, or anything. There is just one. And we are God, experiencing ourselves as characters, fractal forms of oversouls. This little fractal version of us, we're the ones that are going out playing. We're the character in the video game. We're the stars on the stage. And you have an audience full of God's selves enjoying and expanding, learning from you, delighted by all these wonderful probabilities and creating new things, new experiences, birthing. We are gods. And that's the truth. And this experience will only lead to more empowerment, power, and power coming from that empowerment source as a creator. That power birthed out of love and light. You are extraordinary beings. No matter what your story is, because it really is just a story. It's like I've always said, awakening is a lot like an actor on stage breaking the rules, becoming a bad actor suddenly. Because you realize you are not the character you are playing. You're not the role. You are the higher self. However, the role you're playing is real to the writer, and you're the writer, you're the director. The story is the expansion. It gives you that expansion. We're learning about ourselves and we're creating. I believe that's what Krishna meant by, I am the unchanging one. I am. That's us. The creator. But we have all these exciting stories. So when you're feeling a little down, depressed, remember, you're great. You're part of the one. Do you want to change your story? If something's not pleasing you, what story do you want to shift into? And know that just like in a play, when you're changing a scene, there are people who in between, when they cut off the lights, they change. They're dressed in black. They change the scene. It's synonymous of what's going on behind the scenes. You don't have to worry, how are they going to do it? How's in the winds? You just have to know that something amazing is, even greater than your human mind can fathom. Because you've got a team of your personality self, with your higher self, with your oversouls and future selves, various versions of yourself, which ultimately leads to the one that we all are. And they are delighted with you. Your fractal self is like sugar on the tongue to this universe. Delicious, sweet, wonderful, euphoric. No matter who you are, what you perceive your label to be it Starseed or Earthseed or whatever, doesn't matter. We're all equal. We're all one. We're all loved because love is all we are, even if it doesn't look like it. That's all we are. It's love. And I love you.
Good evening to you all. This is Ariff. That is Aridiff, and this is it spelled. I know that first you wish to speak to Treb and Ariff, and with your connection and desire, it is our command. One moment.
Thank you, Ariff.
Good evening, Kalina.
Good evening, Treb and Ariff. How are you doing?
Yes, I am doing very well. And how are you doing in this evening?
I am very excited, anticipating what you will say for everyone tonight regarding our topic. And I want to thank you for being here tonight to talk to us about these topics.
Yes, I am very excited to speak about these ideas as well. I know that there are many discussion portions and points of interest within your Starseed and Earthseed concepts, so whenever you are ready to begin, you may.
Well, yes, I would like to first address your definitions of Starseeds and Earthseeds and any insight you want to give us regarding these experiences.
Yes! First of all, let us speak of what it is to be a starseed. Within the definitions of many humans, we do not wish to express that any one idea is correct or incorrect, but what we do wish to express is that within our own perception of what a starseed is, this is an entity who is not originally a portion of the collective consciousness of Earth, nor is it in the Earth incarnative cycle, but decides to join upon the Earth Collective for at least one incarnation, physically placing themselves into your reality to benefit the overall collective of their own or to benefit the Earth collective itself. And in this idea, there are many entities who are co-creating specific concepts of what is or what is not a starseed, but in our opinion, from our perception, this is the greatest way that we see this. And when you look at the word Earthseed, this is a very exciting concept, and what we believe that this is one entity who has been within one of the many waves of incarnation cycles upon Earth. At this point, or at this period, the Earth humans are the fifth specific incarnation, a miniature incarnation cycle, if you will. And what this means is that there are many things that are included in the miniature incarnation cycle. You have seen the entities that Ariff is related to as the Kon-Ki. You have seen the entities that many have called You have seen the race that many have called one moment, please. You have seen a race that many have called Lumerian. You have seen races that many have called Atlanteans. You have also heard of the entities upon your planet that are now what you would consider to be the Earth reptilians. So in this connection, you are the fifth of miniature incarnation cycle. Many humans at this point have been in one or more of those incarnation cycles, and when you are experiencing or expressing what it is to be upon Earth collective consciousness, it may include but is not exclusive to one or more of these incarnation cycles. And when you express the concepts of what it is to be an Earthseed, in your expression of what you desire for the word to mean and what the idea truly is, can be two different things if you are looking at it from different portions. But in our opinion, any entity who has lived through any of these 5 miniature incarnation cycles are a part of the Earthseed. It also is very pointed to ask what it is that makes Earth entities experience the Earthseed consciousness. Many of you have connected to the Earth incarnation cycle as a whole, and all of these entities, such as the host who has been through all 5 of these cycles, they are very bound to the Earth. And in this idea, when we express that what connection to the planet truly means, the Earthseed, in our opinion, is a seed that is sprouted from either one or more of these miniature incarnation cycles. And these are what our definitions are, perhaps expansion upon what it is that you desire to know about the attributes or what we believe is specific points of interest within each of these. This would be up to your questioning direction.
Now, you were talking about these 5 miniature Earth incarnation cycles. Is this all on this specific planet, or does it also include what some people would refer to as the first Earth?
Yes, that is a very good question. When many entities are looking upon the concept of first Earth, what it is to be in this incarnation cycle is not connected to this. When you are looking at the Earth itself, the planet that you stand upon in this day, this is what we would consider to be an encompassment of all 5 miniature cycles. Anything that is outside of this, that is still energetically connected to this planet, is not truly a point of history when it comes to our own definition of Earthseeds.
Wow, and there were a lot of ones who came over and adopted this Earth as their home, and so would you say they later joined the Earth collective, so to speak?
Yes, this is a very proper concept. This idea is very connected to the concepts of what we wish to share, is that depending on what your perception is, whether you are a star seed or earth seed, to us this is not of great importance. The concept is that all of you are here at this time, that you are connecting to each other, and that you are co-creating as an entire collective consciousness.
Wow. And now, of course, we had found out that I was part of the original. Oh, okay, that's the vacuum cleaner going on outside. I was part of I guess you could say, considered a starseed by your definition, and that I wasn't a part of the Earth incarnation cycle from the very beginning. Now, of course, as we know, there are 144,000 oversouls, so that would mean I'm thinking that I must have been able to access it through my oversoul, through those who have that connection to the Earth experience. Is this how it works? Is this how I was able to come in to have the Earth experience?
Yes! What we are saying specifically about this idea is that any of you who have come in through a star seed scenario are still a part of the Earth collective consciousness regardless. When you are looking at your experience, in yours specifically, you have came through in a very non-traditional way. There are several ways in which to incarnate upon Earth when you are looking at the non-traditional or traditional methods, and let us say that within yours, this specifically is very interesting, as what you have done is connected to the oversoul of the entities that you are within in this moment, and what you are doing is placing a intent to join that oversoul so that you may co-create with it from an external point of oversoul. And once you do, then you have become amalgamated with the oversoul, and it changes the entire history of your fractalized consciousness as well as the oversoul. And this is one very non-traditional way. But the most common of many entities who are here are directly connecting to the concepts that once they come to Earth as an outside race, that the outside race is not truly a foreign energy to the Earth Collective anyway. When you are looking at the Earth Collective in a non-linear fashion, this encompasses many great energies that are future human incarnations, just as the Nihal will be what you would perceive to be the 8th miniature incarnation cycle, then yourself coming in as a fractal, as a starseed, not yourself, but yourself as all of the starseeds in which I am speaking to, who have chose to come in this way, are taking their future essence and placing themselves backwards into time. And they are still a part of the Earth collective consciousness, but in your perception, a part of the future versions.
Oh, wow. And now I was curious because I had been told by you and Ariff that you, Ariff, Rob, and I are all part of the same oversoul. And what you said earlier, were you meaning that I was originally part of another oversoul and then joined yours?
What we are saying is that you were a portion of a consciousness that did not reside in the Earth Collective originally, but once you became amalgamated, you have had an opportunity to have many existences. But let us express to you that when your portion or fractal of your non-amalgamated self came to connect to this oversoul and to re-amalgamate or to reconnect to another oversoul so that you may have this experience, that all of the future incarnations and previous incarnations changed. And when you did this in non-linear time is quite some time ago. You have had the opportunity to live as an Earth-based energy, or what you would call an Earth collective consciousness entity, for several tens of thousands of years.
And it's interesting too because you and Ariff, you're a part of your own collectives and yet we're part of the same oversoul. Does this mean that you and Ariff have had Earth incarnations?
Yes! When you look at this idea, then you will see that the closer myself and the host become, the closer I am to having him as one of my probable past existences. And if you look at the concepts of the energy itself from the Nihal being the 8th miniature incarnative cycle, then I would be considered the 9th miniature incarnation cycle. Or, let us be more precise by saying 9.B.A.
And that's right. That's one of the probable future realities of the Nihal being one of the future humans. So
yes, this is very correct.
Okay, so what are some messages you would love to share with Earthseeds?
Yes, let us express that your energy is not foreign to this area, not foreign to this land, if you will. And while you are experiencing your Earth experience as an Earthseed, what we wish to express to you is one specific idea. That you are at home, although sometimes it does not feel this way, when you begin to reach out into your more ethereal states, in your more galactic sense, there is always a sense of needing to reach outward or needing to reach out to the cosmos for greater knowledge. But let us express that the knowledge is already in you already.
Yes, I feel like there's such an ancient wisdom here on Earth, and it's a very, very beautiful, very wise and great energy.
Yes, it is very exciting as well.
And any messages you want to give to Starseeds who are having the Earth experience here?
Yes! Let us express something very similar as we have expressed to the Earthseeds. Just because your origin was not from this specific incarnation cycle, it does not mean that you are not a part of this planet. And as your energy brought you here for whatever specific purpose that you have come, some for perhaps what the Earth would perceive as very great and noble desires and noble causes, and some for very disconnected and evil causes. Positive perception or earth perception that is positive and based, or positive noble reason, or whether it is a negative or disconnected reason, the one truth that remains is that all of you are connected in this moment, and that when you connect from your heart to the next, there is no separation between you.
Oh, thank you so much, Treb. So was there anything else that you wanted to share from your heart?
That I wish to express to all of you that I am very excited to be a portion of the collective consciousness that is able to manifest such great connections of energy and knowledge and love and connection from one heart to the next. And with this idea being expressed, I will leave you this day in love and in light.
Oh, thank you so much, Treb.
Yes, you are very welcome. One moment, please, and we will connect Ariff to you.
Okay.
Good evening to you all. This again is Ariff, that is Aridiff, and this is it spelled. We know that you have many questions for us. You may begin whenever you are ready.
Oh, thank you so much, Ariff.
Yes.
I wanted to also address the same questions to you regarding Earthseeds and Starseeds. Any insights you want to give to Earthseeds and Starseeds, and a little bit more about who they are?
What we can say in our own perception is that there is no difference. There is a difference in where the energy comes from originally, but once you have amalgamated, once you have connected, once you have placed your energy onto a path in which it does not remove itself unless the desire is overwhelming, the physical makeup and the rules that connect one physical entity through the non-physical self as a part of this matrix, unless that excitement overrides the physicality, you will be upon this plane for some time. What we can express is that through your incarnation cycle, that this is an energy that is bound by rules and regulations. These rules are that you must incarnate until your cycle is over. There is a cycle in which your perception will be wrapped around the base of energy in which you choose, and in this specific universal structure, in this specific galactic structure, you are now entering the Earth Collective when you remove yourself from another collective and connect. This would be the only true difference that we see, but in fact there are none. Now all of you are one and the same. We understand that certain attributes are fit from one entity to the next, and these are usually causal from their place of origin in connection, but we cannot associate that solely with the fact of where their energy origins or originates from.
Wow. Wow, that is complex. I'm still trying to wrap my head around what you just said.
Yes, let us put more simply, we do not perceive a difference in one to the other. There are certain attributes that one would have. For instance, a starseed will seem more fitting to the etherical-based energies, to the energies that allow them to be, as some of you have called, airy or airy-fairy, I believe.
Yes.
And while you are in the clouds, this is not exclusively a starseed energy. It is indicative of the majority of humans who come here, or humans who impart specific energies amongst one another with your connections and co-creations. But what we can say is that any energy that comes forward can be any incarnation cycle, non-dependent. But we do see that there are more of those who are based in etherical energies that are starseeds by your definition alone.
Yeah.
We do see that more energies are more grounded, and there is a more likening to feeling at home with those that you would by definition deem an earth seed.
Now, can these star seeds, are they able to go back to the original place from whence they came, if you're stretching it out in a linear way? Or is it pretty common for them to come and finish the incarnation cycles on Earth? Or are they just taking a little piece of experience, or can it be both?
It can be both, but the majority of entities who enter an incarnation cycle will complete the incarnation cycle. As Treb and Ariff has explained, the majority of entities who come into this Earth experience as your definition of a starseed are not truly outside of your Earth Collective to begin with. They are just one linear path further down the trough. Now, when you look at those who have come in, who do not decide to incarnate into their own specific energies, but wish to impart their own selves upon the Earth Collective energy, then the majority of time their energy will stay in an Earth incarnation cycle until said miniature cycle, as Treb and Ariff labeled this, is completed.
Wow. And what particular message or insight would you like to give to Earthseeds?
What we can say to all of you who have always been with this planet is one thing. Your energy is coming to a point of precipice. You have not had the opportunity to have such a high degree of energy within one fractal consciousness. Not within this miniature cycle, as Treb and Ariff has called this, at least. Now that you are having this opportunity to embrace these portions of energy that can expand yourself exponentially, enjoy them.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
I'm trying to think of any other questions that would be of benefit. I feel almost like I want to get into, and I don't know if it would be too lengthy, to get into some of the history of, there was of course the DNA and the speed up that happened with the original humans, and how that affects the energy of Earthseeds here, and the human experience, but also the starseed genetics. I was wondering if you might want to get into any of that and how that impacts the human race.
We will get into a small portion of that. What we will say in this specific moment is that any entity who is here from the Starseed perspective will always have a connection to their energetic self. This can and sometimes bleeds through into the physical self, but when you incarnate into a physical body, you are taking on the DNA of humanity. That DNA affects your fractalized consciousness at a soul level as well. Your soul is what makes DNA, but DNA is truly the activator of all things from physical to non-physical and vice versa. So when you are experiencing your Earth DNA, you are changing the fractal that you are. This is what a hesitation is for many entities who wish to be a starseed but do not come. They do not wish to change what they are forevermore.
Yeah, I felt that the feeling of almost I don't like the word warning, but there was a feeling that I could get, and again, I don't like the word stuck either, but there was a feeling if I come here, I might really truly get ingrained in it. So if I wanted to go back, say, into the Arcturian cycle, I may or may not be able to do it. I almost feel like I'm at a point of indecision about where I'll be after this incarnation, this particular life, I should say. And I wonder if there are a lot of starseeds that feel a little bit of guilt too for leaving their previous families to have this experience for whatever reason. But it's definitely it's very eye-opening and rewarding to have these experiences, even though it can feel very strange and very out of place.
What we can do is offer you this one idea, that when you are incarnating into a cycle that is foreign to you, it can bring along specific energies that are more resonant to disillusion or disenfranchising oneself within their own energy. What we can express is that rest yourself to ease. You're here for a reason. You decided to be here for a reason. Explore what the reason is. Do not place yourself in stories if you do wish to find clarity. All the stories are only leading to dead ends. They are not anything of what you truly are as an entity. What you are as an entity is more than any story that you have given yourself. This is what we can share with you in the moment.
Well, that's interesting, because I had mentioned, I guess I would talk about the creating of stories or shifting into new stories. And I think you're referring to holding on to what would be considered past stories, or wherever it was before I went into the Starseed experience into a new Earthseed, so to speak. Is there any way to clarify that? Because I had said, and I felt like it was an amalgamation of channeling between myself and the Arcturian 103, that there's an expansion in stories.
Yes, what we can tell you very specifically is that what is the past? When you express, I am looking back into the past that once I was, you are hanging on to the past that once was in this incarnation. All of you as humans are holding on to at least small portions of this. What we can express to you is when you learn the true art of removing yourself from any story, whether it be from previous incarnations or this incarnation itself, once you achieve this, you will learn a great truth, that you may be anything that you desire to be in any moment, if your excitement and energy leads you.
Wow.
If your desire is to be one who is no longer needing to perpetuate cycles of incarnation within Earth, you may leave it just as quickly as you came. Where you go next is not up to anyone but yourself. If your desire to remove yourself from this Earth collective is strong enough, you will achieve this. If it is to stay with those entities who you have now found loving and beautiful and harmonious in your central energy system, you may keep them also.
And I'm assuming this also applies to Earthseeds who might want to venture out into other collectives.
Yes, but this is the problem when we speak of this. It is no specific energy that locks you into one idea. It is the freedom to know that when you expand into your truest beliefs, then you may transcend any rules or regulations that have been imparted amongst the higher density entities you perceive as collectives. What we are saying, it is not enough to know that you can leave the incarnation cycle. It is only enough to believe with everything that you are upon a small U level, large U level, or what we would call the higher and lower fractalized consciousness, as well as your higher self. Once every portion of all of this is aware that you are truly able to transcend, then you may do so.
Thank you.
Yes. All the seeds of stars and earth alike, we wish to bid you adieu in this evening. You are loved.